Runway heading.
Fly runway heading, Mark Bravo Bravo.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land runway 13.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land 13.
Zulu Sierra Alpha, change of plans, crossover midfield, join right downwind runway 13.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to Simair Flyer. I am Dane Simair. So today we are going to do a flight, and it's going to be a comparison flight, and we are presently in, I'll show you on a little nav map where we are. Okay, we are in Lewiston, Idaho, and we are parked right down here, and we're going to be using runway 30, which is this shorter runway here, and we're going to be doing an IFR flight, and we're going to be going, let's get this one up, we're going to be going to Missoula, Montana. And we're also going to be landing on runway 30 here. We're going to do an RNAV approach into Missoula. So basically, let me minimize that a little bit. Basically, we're going to take off from Lewiston. We'll get vectors from air traffic control, which is going to be Say Intentions. And we're going to be going to our first waypoint of O'Dyer. And from O'Dyer, we will then pick up the RNAV, which comes down here. It actually flies over the airport. The airport is right in here. You can't see it because it's a mess of printing there. But you fly over the airport, and you go into this circular route, which is the RNAV, and it'll step you down into CBEB, Zexom, and into the runway. So that's our plan today. We're going to be using Say Intentions. We're going to be using Say Intentions for our air traffic control. And after this flight, I'm not sure if I'll get to it tonight, but shortly after this flight, I'm going to be doing the exact same flight using Beyond ATC. Both of them will be identical flights. I just like to do a comparison to see how they both function. So we're using the Beech Baron 58P, and it is all ready to go. It's fueled up, everything's checked out. The flight plan is in place. We're going to be flying at 11,000 feet, our cruise altitude. So we'll put that in here. And we're going to be using GPS, which I don't normally use, but I wanted to do an RNAV approach just to see how it would work. I normally use the nav radio, the VLOC radio, and I usually do ILSs and VORs and so on. But tonight we're doing GPS into Missoula, Montana. So without any further ado, I'm going to get our clearance from Say Intentions. Now let's first, let's call center. And get our clearance. No, that's the CTOF. I don't want the CTOF. I want center. Lewiston Center, Barron, November 624 Delta Whiskey, IFR to Missoula, Montana.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Alright. I'm going to move, well, I'll leave this here for a few minutes and then I'll move it out.
November 624 Delta. Whiskey Seattle Center cleared to Missoula. Radar vectors ODIRE, then as filed. Climb and maintain 5,000. Expect 1010 minutes after departure. Departure on 133.35 squawk 6111.
Let's just put in the squawk before I call him back. Cleared to Missoula, radar vectors ODIRE, then as filed, climb and maintain 5,000, expect 11,000, 10 minutes after departure, departure on 13335, squawk 6111. Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way. He hasn't responded, indicating that my readback was correct. So that's not good. I'll try it again. Maybe he didn't hear me. Seattle Center, 624 Delta Whiskey is cleared to Missoula. Radar vectors ODIRE, then as filed. Climb and maintain 5,000. Expect 11,000. 10 minutes after departure. Departure on 13335, squawk 6111.
Delta Whiskey, read back correct.
Okay, there. You now heard me. Read back correct. Okay, I'll move this out of the way. Let me just move some screens around on the other monitor. So this is a little bit handier for me to get to. Okay, so that's in place. We have our clearance. So now all we have to do is contact ground for taxi to the active. So I'm going to switch over to the ground frequency now. I could have the co-pilot do all of this, but I want to do it myself. Lewiston ground, November 624 Delta Whiskey, ready to taxi to the active, runway 30.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Lewiston Nez Perce County Airport ground, taxi to runway 30 via Charlie 5, Charlie 6. Contact tower on 119.4 when ready for departure.
Taxi to runway 30 via Charlie 5, Charlie 6. Contact tower on 119.4 when ready for departure. Lewiston ground 624 Delta Whiskey, just requesting a barometric pressure. I just want to get the barometric pressure in here.
4 Delta Whiskey, Lewiston altimeter 29.94.
2994. I should have listened to ATIF first, but I didn't. Okay, that's in place, 1400 feet, which is correct. Alright, let's head out. Taxi lights coming on. Taxi lights coming on, the beacon is on, the nav is on. The strobes and the landing lights we don't put on until we're at the runway. Okay, I'll move this over to show you the Navigraph map and see where we're going. We've been told to taxi via Charlie 5, which is right here. This is Charlie 5. Charlie, and then this is Charlie 5, this is Charlie, and this is Charlie 6. So that's where we're going. So we're going to make a right turn out here. It's a sharp turn to the right. Alright, so you know where we're going on the map, so let me get you back into the cockpit. So we are in
Contact tower on 119.4.
contact tower on 119.4. So he's already given me clearance to contact with tower, but we're not up at Charlie 5 yet. Let's see, is this Charlie 5? Yeah, this is Charlie 5. And then we make a left to go to Charlie. And we make a left to go on to Charlie. And then we come down to Charlie 6, which is right here. Now let's switch over to tower frequency. Lewiston Tower, November 624 Delta Whiskey, holding short of 30, ready to roll.
November 624 Delta, Whiskey Lewiston Nez, Pierce County Airport Tower, runway 30, winds calm. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for runway 30, winds are calm, fly runway heading. 4 Delta Whiskey. Okay, so runway heading is actually, it's runway 30, but it's actually 297. So I'll put the heading bug on 297. We're going to go 1 notch of flaps. Taxi lights are coming off. Landing lights are going on. And strobe lights are coming on. We are ready to go. And he cleared us. The initial clearance was 5,000 feet was our initial clearance, so I'm going to put 5,000 in here. Alright, that'll be our expected altitude, and then he'll give us 11,000 within 10 minutes. Alright, everyone ready? Seat belts buckled. Should be a nice day for flying. Throttles are being advanced. Throttles are full throttle. Airspeed is alive. 50 knots, 60 knots, 70 knots, 80 knots, and we can rotate. Let's just look over the nose here. Once we pass the piano keys at the end of the runway, the gear's coming up, and the flaps are coming up. And autopilot is going to be put on now. Autopilot heading. And we're climbing at 1,500 feet. So we've got flight director, autopilot is on, and heading is on.
Delta Whiskey, contact departure on 133.35.
133.35. Departure, November 624 Delta Whiskey, with you at 3,000.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Spokane departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain 11,000, cleared direct O'Dyer.
Climb and maintain 11,000, cleared direct to O'Dyer. So he's given me 11,000 right away. So that's where we're going, and now let's tune let's see if it'll pick up the nav. I think I'll do a direct to O'Dyer. Let's do a direct to O'Dyer. Okay, we're turning to O'Dyer. We've been given clearance to 11,000. We are turning en route to O'Dyer, which is our first main waypoint before we pick up the RNAV. We're at 6,000. Do a quick check on the instruments. Everything's in the green. Good. Okay, at this point we can take the landing lights off. But of course our strobe lights stay on. We're in a nice steep climb. There's the airport that we left. Right there. We took off this way. And we're turning around to head to O'Dyer, which is straight out there. We're at 8,400. We're climbing at about 1,900 feet per minute. And indicated airspeed of 100 knots, ground speed of 128. We have 52 minutes to get to O'Dyer. So what I'm going to do here, I can pause the video because there's not much that's going to take place between here and O'Dyer. So I'll pause the video so it doesn't take you, so you're not watching it all the way. Let's wait till I get to 11,000 and get on cruise, and then I'll pause the video. Need to reduce my manifold pressure because I have a warning light up here. So I have done that. RPMs are back. RPMs are at 2,400. Manifold pressure, we're at 11,000. Can go into cruise now. Okay, I'm going to pause the video here for you and pick up when we get closer to our destination airport. It took a little while for that warning light to go out, but it's now out, so all the systems are functioning properly. We'll see you shortly. At 11,000 we have picked up some ice, so we very quickly need to respond with pitot heat, the fuel vent heat, stall warning heat, windshield heat, and prop heat. And we need to put on some pilot air, cabin heat, and the defrosters. I'll just show you quickly on Navigraph where we are. We're right on track, heading to O'Dyer. We've still got a little way to go. In fact, we have, let's see, how long do we have to go? 72 miles, 72 nautical miles, be approximately 18 minutes. We won't get any air traffic control until when we get into this area right about here. We've got a low ceiling here, looks like it's about 11,000 feet. We'll be right at the base of it. We are legal, we are IFR. I'm going to close the cowl flaps now. Cowl flaps are closed. I'll just pause the video again for a little while and come back to you shortly.
If you'd like to start down earlier, expect the ILS Yankee runway 12 approach into Missoula.
Negative on the approach. I want the RNAV into runway 30.
4 Delta Whiskey, contact Seattle approach on 128.45. 4 Delta Whiskey, RNAV approach to runway 30 approved. Change runway to runway 12 or 8 if needed.
Contact Seattle approach 128.45. Seattle approach, November 624 Delta Whiskey is with you at 11,000.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Seattle approach, good afternoon, Clarkia, altimeter 29.904.
2994. Seattle approach 624 Delta Whiskey, requesting an altitude change to 9,000.
Delta Whiskey, descend and maintain 9,000.
Okay, putting me down to 9,000. Take the altitude hold off and put the trim down. We'll go down at about 800, 900 feet per minute. Well, 1,000. 1,000 is fine. I don't know why he switched to runway ILS. Well, I suppose the winds may have shifted, but I still want the RNAV into 30, so we're going to do the RNAV as planned. I mean, in real life, I would have switched to the ILS, but I purposely want to do the RNAV because this is probably only the No, I was going to say the first time, no, maybe the second time that I've done an RNAV approach. And the first time it was messed up quite badly. So, we're trying for another go at it. And we're scooting along pretty fast. Indicated about 210, actual ground speed 241. We have a tailwind of 8 knots. Just about at 9,000 feet, just skimming across the top of the mountains. You wouldn't want to be any lower. I think those mountain tops are at about 8,200 or 8,300 feet. I'll just pop over to the Navigraph map. So we're getting close. Let's see what the about 6 minutes to go. It's about 20 miles. So once we get close to O'Dyer, because right now we are doing a direct to O'Dyer, and then we need to activate the RNAV to take us in down here.
Delta Whiskey, contact Salt Lake approach on 127.075.
127.075. Salt Lake approach. Baron, November 624 Delta Whiskey is with you at 9,000.
November 624 Delta Whiskey Salt Lake approach. Good afternoon, Superior. Altimeter 29.904.
29.904. So let me just go back to the Navgraph map again to finish what I was going to say. So as we get close to O'Dyer, I'm going to use the heading bug and take it off of nav, and we're going to turn to a heading of 118. And that'll be 23 nautical miles to the MSO VOR. And once we're established on 118, I will then activate the RNAV approach. Certainly is a nice day to fly. It is live weather, by the way. I forgot to mention that, but it is live weather. I think at this point we should turn off our de-icing. Let's see, what's the temperature outside? Well, it's pretty chilly out. It's minus, it's about minus 3 degrees, and there are still clouds up there. So I guess we'll leave the de-icing equipment on. And there is a little bit of moisture in them. You can see the grayness in them. Just going to have a quick look at the weather. The weather at Missoula is calling for winds are 360 at 3, so there's nothing wrong with us using runway 30. 10 stature miles, overcast at 10,000 feet, temperature 8, dew point 2, and they're saying the altimeter is 29 or 9 or 7. Let's see how close we are. Oh yeah, we're really close to O'Dyer. It's time for us to turn to 118. So let's turn the heading mode on. Heading 118. And the direct, and we'll now activate the approach. So we've activated the approach. Put it on approach. Alright, so let's now get our approach chart up. So at the MSO at Stoven, looks like we need to be 9,000 feet all the way down here.
4 Delta Whiskey, contact Spokane approach on 124.9er.
124.9er. Spokane approach, November 624 Delta Whiskey is with you at 9,000 for the RNAV approach, runway 30 into KMSO.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Spokane approach, good afternoon. Houston altimeter 29.94.
29.94. So the approach doesn't kick in until we go around the circle. But I do have the altitude hold off, and I'm hoping that the RNAV will guide us, the GPS will guide us down. So we need to be 9,000 feet all the way down. 9,000 at Cupra, and then 8,800 at Wamis. So again, real quick, we have to be 9,000 feet down to Cupra, and then we have to start going down to 8,800 feet all the way around to Wamis, and then 6,600 feet to Tuffy, and then from Tuffy we go to CBEB at 6,000, Sexom at 5,600, Fissis at 51, Stoven at 4,889, and then we land. The elevation of the airport is 3,200 feet approximately. Alright, we got a nasty cloud up ahead of us here, but we're below it. So far we are holding the track as it's meant to be, tracking in right on that heading of 118. And that's not the heading bug doing it, that's the GPS doing it. If we look out the top of our airplane here, we should see the airport. No, we can't see it. Can't quite see it. There it is there. So we're now flying over the airport. And the VOR is right in the center of the airport, right here. And we're at 9,000 feet. 9,200 actually. Start reducing speed. Not sure why the airplane was doing a little left turn there. It kind of got me worried. We're still on autopilot.
4 Delta Whiskey, descend and maintain 7200. Turn left heading 305 vectors for the RNAV runway 12 approach.
Descend and maintain 7200. Turn left 305 vectors for the RNAV. No, I want RNAV 30, not 12, 30. Now he's still wanting to give me runway 12. I don't want it. I do not want runway 12. Spokane approach 624 Delta Whiskey is requesting runway 30, the RNAV approach.
4 Delta Whiskey, descend and maintain 7,000.
Descend and maintain 7,000. That's not the correct altitude for the RNAV approach. Negative on 7,000.
4 Delta Whiskey, runway 30 is not available. Active runways are 12 and 8. Please confirm your approach request for one of these runways. 4 Delta Whiskey, maintain 9,000 for the RNAV approach runway 12 into KMSO.
Oh, jeez. So now we have to change. We now have to. We're almost ready to approach, and now we have to make a change. To remove that approach, and we have to put in
4 Delta Whiskey, descend and maintain 7,000.
RNAV. Descend and maintain 7,000. So he's now taking me into runway 12.
4 Delta Whiskey, contact Missoula Tower on 118.4.
118.4. Missoula Tower, November 624 Delta Whiskey, with you at 8,500.
November 624 Delta Whiskey, Missoula Tower, roger, continue approach.
Well, he's completely messed me up. Well, you know what? I'm going into runway 30. The winds are 360. There's no way that I'm going to go into runway 12. That makes no sense. Okay, gears coming down. 1 notch of flaps. That's not what I want. This is what I want here. So that is definitely an error on Say Intentions. Definitely an error. I've taken over control of the airplane. I've turned the autopilot off. We need to get this back into a stable position. Let's see where we are. We want to go direct to, we passed Cupra, so we want to go to Wamis. We want to go direct to Wamis. Activate that leg. Yeah, we want to go direct to Wamis. Autopilot's coming back on. Nav mode. We've got to clear of the mountains. That was definitely an error on Say Intentions. That's where I want to go. I want to activate the leg to Wamas. Okay, just buckle up your seatbelts, that's all I can tell you right now. Buckle up your seatbelts. We'll get through this. I want to go direct to Wamas. Gotta get over this mountain, and to top it all, it's raining. Not a good situation. We're supposed to be at 8,800 right here. After we pass Wamas, then we go down to 6,600. But until we get to Wamas, it's supposed to be at 8,800. Let's get it under control. So we're going to Wamas. I'll quickly show you the mess that we were in. Anyway, we're going direct to Wamas right now, and then I'm hoping we can pick up the RNAV to get us all the way into Tuffy. So hopefully this will work out. All in the rain. Not exactly the most comforting time to be making an approach. Alright, we're getting really close to Wamas. That's what does this say? We're approaching Wamas. So I'm now going to activate this to go to Tuffy. Okay, activate that leg to Tuffy. And yeah, that's good. I should be able to now take put it on approach, not yet. It's turning me back to the left to get me onto the circle. I'll quickly show you. So we were on the inside of the arc here. So it's turning me back to get me back onto this arc to Tuffy. There, we're straightened back out again. We are having pouring rain right now. I'm going to call Missoula Tower just to make sure he knows we're landing on runway 30. Missoula Tower, November 624 Delta Whiskey, it will be landing on runway 30.
4 Delta Whiskey, runway 30 is not available. Active runways are 1, 2, and 8. Please confirm your runway choice.
30. Well, I'm going to land on 30. I don't care what they say. Okay, looks like we are on course. We are now heading to Tuffy. In fact, we are at Tuffy. Now we're heading to CBEB. And that confirms it on the autopilot on the GPS. We are high. We need to get down to 5,600. But now that we pass Tuffy, we should be able to activate the approach. I thought you could, but maybe you can't. No, the approach won't activate. Okay, there's the airport just out here. Lower our speed. Now we're making a little bit of a turn to get to Zexom. And that's a good turn. It's supposed to turn to 021, which is right there. It's perfect. Still don't know why the approach button will not activate. No, it will not activate. So we need to be down to 5,100 now. And now we're going to be making a left turn to get to Physis. Well, no, we're at Physis. We're going to make a left turn to get to Stoughton. And then the runway is 298, so that's where the heading bug is set. And at this point, the approach button is not lighting up. the approach button is not lighting up. So I will have to control the altitude. And at this point I'm going to turn off the autopilot and we're going to manually fly it in. Now the controller is probably going to be mad at me because of my insistence on runway 30. You can even look at the winds right here. They're headwind. 2 knots headwind. So runway 30 is the correct runway to land on. Don't understand why they're giving me runway 12. Alright, 110 knots. We're lined up, reds and green, reds and whites. Now we're into the reds. Okay, steady as we go. Steady as we go. Flare. Up. Hold the flare, hold the flare. Okay, there we are. I think we missed the turn right there. I'm going to just make a quick turn around. There's no one coming in.
Delta Whiskey, welcome to Missoula. Contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er. Missoula ground, November 624 Delta Whiskey is clear of the active. Request taxiing to general aviation parking, south side. Alright, let's clean up the airplane.
4 Delta Whiskey, taxi to general aviation parking via Alpha 3 Charlie, cross runway 26 at your discretion. Have a good day.
Alpha 3 and Charlie. Cross. Alpha 3 and Charlie, cross runway 26 at my discretion. Alright, let's turn off. Strobe lights are off.
4 Delta Whiskey, Alpha 3 and Charlie, cross runway 26 at your discretion. Contact tower on 118.4 when ready for departure.
When ready for departure, I'm coming in to park. I'm not departing. Goodness me. Something's definitely wrong with the controller. So we're on Alpha 3 right now, and we're not crossing runway 26. We're going to park right over here. Park over here by this colorful airplane here. This looks like a good spot right here. Parking brakes are on. Okay, let's shut this down. Mixture lean. Props back. Throttle back. Magnetos coming off. Nav lights off. Taxi lights off. Beacon lights off. Avionics off. Alternator off. Battery off. Well, that was an interesting flight. So right now I just want to say thank you for joining Dane Samir on Samir Flyer. So this was using Say Intentions. Certainly the landing, the takeoff from our departure was perfect. The cruise was perfect. The initial descent to pick up the RNAV was going well, and everything fell apart when he told me I had to land on runway 12. That makes no sense because this is runway 12, that's north to south. Well, the winds are coming from, well, that's actually not north to south, it's northwest to southeast. The winds are coming from the north. Winds are 360. So runway 30 was the appropriate runway to land on. So I have no idea whether it gave me runway 12 or runway 8. If I came in on runway 8, I would have a bang-on left crosswind. If I came in on 12, I'd have a tailwind. Makes no sense. None whatsoever. So we'll see what happens with Beyond ATC when I do that flight. It'll be the same flight. For now, thanks for joining me. Keep the wheels down and the wings up. See you next time.
Foxtrot Bravo Bravo Tower, fly runway heading.
Fly runway heading, Foxtrot Bravo Bravo.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land runway 13.
Charlie Zulu November, clear to land 13.
Zulu Sierra Alpha, change of plans, crossover midfield, join right downwind runway 13.